Nothing that would provoke a hostile response. If she refuses, you're not to press the issue. Remember, infiltration of the Institute is our larger goal. No matter. Given the proper motivation, I'm certain she can be persuaded to see things our way. I'm well aware that you're risking your life going into the Institute blind. Just keep your mind on the mission, and don't let anything they say sway you from your duty. Good luck. Listen to me, Knight. That's a shame. Well, given the proper motivation, I'm certain she can be persuaded to see things our way. Your bravery in the face of the unknown exemplifies what it means to be part of the Brotherhood. Be proud. You mean thanks to you and Proctor Ingram. You may have done the field work, but it was her know-how that enabled us to decipher Dr. Virgil's schematics. Dr. Lee previously worked on a potent weapon for the Brotherhood of Steel. We'd like her to continue where she left off. That's all I can tell you. That information is highly classified. But I can tell you that she was working in our combat robotics division. If she returned to us, she'd be continuing her work in that field. Sorry, that information is classified. I'm sure you understand. Just giving you the proper background, soldier. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. All of us are aware of the risks you're taking, and we salute you. If everything goes according to our plans, this mission will place us squarely on the road to victory. Agreed. I wish our predecessors would have had your foresight. I received word that Dr. Lee is returning to us. How cooperative do you think she'll be? You have your assignment, soldier. Move out. Remarkable work, Knight. The signal interceptor appears to be complete. Are you ready to put it to the test? Your instructions were clear. You were to infiltrate the Institute, find Dr. Lee, and convince her to return to the Brotherhood. Instead, you opened fire inside their facility, and possibly jeopardized our entire operation in the process. I'm extremely disappointed in you, Knight. We pick up the pieces, and we move on, soldier. Thanks to the success of your reconnaissance efforts. It's time to advance our operations to the next phase. I want you to report to Proctor Ingram at the airport. She has a special project that requires your immediate attention. And Knight, don't disappoint me again. Dismissed. Now, on to other matters. We've been monitoring communications and picked up an encrypted signal being broadcast from the Institute. We haven't fully decoded it yet, but the message is clear. You opened fire inside the Institute without provocation. What the hell were you thinking? Do you? Well, if nothing else, you have the courage to stand your ground. That doesn't absolve you from your mistake. But let's just say you've earned back some of my respect. Your duty is to follow my orders to the letter, Knight. Apologies are meaningless. Brotherhood soldiers take responsibility for their actions and move on. I expect no less out of you. Didn't realize. Lancer Captain Kells has informed me that the Institute's on high alert, and you're to blame. Explain yourself, Knight. Perhaps you should begin acting like a soldier, and take responsibility for your actions. No. I believe you still possess an important piece of data that Proctor Ingram is eagerly awaiting. I want you to bring it to her immediately. And Knight, don't disappoint me again. Dismissed. That's your explanation? You will do it. This is not up for judgment or debate. I'm giving you a direct order, Knight, and I expect you to follow it without question. I'm afraid not. The evidence is quite damning. I find that very hard to believe. The data you brought back included a record of each subject's DNA. We keep the same information on file for all of our soldiers. Paladin Dance's DNA is a perfect match for a synth they called M797. His sudden absence simply reinforces our conclusion that M797 and Paladin Dance are one and the same. I'm finding it difficult to believe that he never confided in you and then swore you to secrecy. To make matters worse, he's gone AWOL. Disappeared without a trace. Dance is a synth. He represents everything we hate. A monstrosity of technology. Our mission in the Commonwealth is clear. The Institute and its creations need to be destroyed in order to preserve our future. Which leaves me facing the most difficult order I've ever given. I'm ordering you to hunt down Dance and execute him. Is there anything you wish to tell me, Knight? You make a fair point. Apparently I've misjudged you. Find Proctor Quinlan. He's been analyzing the data and should be able to provide you with a starting point. And Knight, there's a promotion for you riding on the results of these orders. So don't disappoint me. You're dismissed. I appreciate your cooperation. Proctor Quinlan completed the decryption of the data you retrieved from the Institute. A portion of his findings included a list of synths that went missing or escaped from their underground facility. After careful analysis of the information, we've discovered something unprecedented. Paladin Dance is a perfect match for one of the synths on that list. Proctor Quinlan validated the information numerous times. I can assure you, his results are accurate. That remains to be seen. Listen, I'm not blind to the fact that Dance was your mentor, and this isn't an easy burden to bear. But if we're to remain strong, we can't afford to make exceptions. Even when it means executing one of our own. Absolutely not. My decision is final. In my experience, Proctor Quinlan doesn't make mistakes. I find your ignorance awfully convenient. We'll settle this soon. This isn't a request that requires an answer, Knight. This is a direct order. The findings have been validated by multiple sources. Quinlan wouldn't have brought this to me if he wasn't 100% certain of the results. And I don't appreciate being betrayed by my own soldiers. How dare you? Have you taken leave of your senses? This machine might not be a bomb, but its goal is exactly the same. Place it where you want the damage done, and when you least expect it, it delivers a lethal blow without warning and without mercy. A precision strike delivered right at the heart of the enemy. You're the physical embodiment of what we hate most. Technology that's gone too far. Look around you, Dance. Look at the scorched earth and the bones that litter the wasteland. Millions, perhaps even billions, died because science outpaced man's restraint. They called it a new frontier and pushing the envelope, completely disregarding the repercussions. Can't you see the same thing is happening again? You're a single bomb in an arsenal of thousands, preparing to lay waste to what's left of mankind. How can you trust the word of a machine that thinks it's alive? A machine that's had its mind erased, its thoughts programmed, its very soul manufactured. Those ethics that it's striving to champion aren't even its own. They were artificially inserted in an attempt to have it blend into society. You're as delusional as you are insubordinate. When I sent you to execute this machine, I suspected you'd have difficulty following my orders. What did it say to you that made you betray the Brotherhood? Why is it still alive? Now that I've arrived, it appears that my instincts were correct. Is that what it told you? It's too late for that now. The Institute has foolishly chosen to grant you life. You simply should not exist. Dance isn't a man. It's a machine. An automaton created by the Institute. It wasn't born from the womb of a loving mother. It was grown within the cold confines of a laboratory. Flesh is flesh. Machine is machine. The two were never meant to intertwine. By attempting to play God, the Institute has taken the sanctity of human life and corrupted it beyond measure. So, it appears we've arrived at an impasse. Allowing Dance to live undermines everything the Brotherhood stands for. Yet you insist that he remains alive, which leaves me with only a single alternative. How dare you betray the Brotherhood? Don't be so naive. Him! I'll instruct Kells to assign you the appropriate backup. Dismiss, soldier. You're the only one that's been able to breach the Institute. But you're hardly the only source for information we have. We've been running round-the-clock vertibird patrols, and we even have squads on the ground trying to pick up anything we can. Not to mention all the scribes we have monitoring radio traffic and trying to crack their RF encryption. I assure you, we have reconnaissance well in hand. Exterminate the synths at Bunker Hill, and whomever the Institute sends to retrieve them. I'm placing you in command of this mission, and you've done the right thing by reporting this to me directly. Well done, soldier. Protecting your source, is it? Very well. Since you've given me no reason to doubt you in the past, your word will suffice. That won't be necessary. Perhaps you should keep them as a reminder of your lapse in vigilance. Report, Knight. Have you handled the situation with Paladin Dance? Your report provides us with a golden opportunity to state our intentions to the Institute. That's all I've ever asked of you. Excellent work. Why are you still aboard the Pridwin? I want Dance executed. Immediately! I'm sorry, Knight. There's nothing further to discuss. You have your orders. Well done. How did you obtain this information? Our reconnaissance hasn't reported anything of the sort. That answer is unacceptable, Knight. Every operation we undertake is a team effort. We're called the Brotherhood of Steel for a reason. You do well to remember that. I need to debrief you on Bunker Hill. Don't look so dejected. The mission may have been a loss, but we haven't come away empty-handed. During the engagement, we were able to gather valuable data, and we can modify our tactics accordingly. All in all, it wasn't a total loss. But I'm expecting greater performance from you in the future. While I admire that you're taking responsibility for your actions, it doesn't excuse the fact that the mission was a failure. That's nothing but an excuse. Your lack of firepower was simply a result of your inability to prepare for the mission properly. Very good. Just be sure your confidence doesn't eclipse your vigilance on future missions. Inexcusable. You were in command of this mission, and the burden of failure will have to rest squarely on your shoulders. Consider yourself dismissed. I don't have time for your petty excuses. Of course it matters. We have a lot of data to analyze in the wake of your mission. Patience, my friend. You'll get another crack at the Institute. I promise. According to the report, you allowed all of the synths to escape. Do you have an explanation for your failure? Reports indicate the operation at Bunker Hill was a success. All synths were eliminated. Do you have anything to add? Shifting the blame to Kells for not providing enough support is in poor form, soldier. You were in command of this mission. Therefore, the burden of failure rests squarely on your shoulders. Every loss we take compromises our position here in the Commonwealth. I will not tolerate failure. Be proud. You've served the Brotherhood well this day. Dismissed. Then you have no one to blame but yourself. Make no mistake. The details do matter. Every engagement helps us learn how to beat them. Your flippancy is unnecessary. The difference is your failure to follow a simple set of instructions. I wanted all of the targets eliminated. According to the report, you eliminated several of the targets, but not all of them. Can you explain what happened? I'm pleased that you've chosen to build the device with the Brotherhood. So it appears we share a common goal. Indeed. The technology the Institute has at their disposal is frightening at best. They've already done immeasurable damage to the Commonwealth. Now, indulge me for a moment by satisfying my curiosity. Tell me why you're so eager to get into the Institute. The Institute preys on the weak to further their own ends. Together, we'll make them pay for their crimes. I'll call ahead and brief Proctor Ingram. Report to the airport, and get to work on your project right away. I believe you'd be better served showing these plans to Proctor Ingram. That being said, I'm pleased that you've chosen to build the device with the Brotherhood. The Institute will stop at nothing to further their own ends. I believe there's a bit more to the story than you're telling me. But based on your actions so far, I'm willing to take you at your word. The method is useless without the means to make it work. Perhaps we should pool our resources to achieve our common goal. By now, I'm sure you've deduced that our arrival in the Commonwealth wasn't coincidental. Don't allow the allure of their isolation to cloud your judgment. Your orders were to speak to Lancer Captain Kells. I suggest you follow them to the letter. I'm too busy to speak right now. I can't talk right now. I have a lot on my mind. I'll send for you if I need you. I'm occupied at the moment. We'll speak later. In any event, Proctor Ingram is putting the final touches on Liberty Prime, and requests your assistance at the main gantry. Report to her immediately for your next assignment. Ad Victoriam, Paladin. For honor and glory. For the Brotherhood! For victory! No mercy! Ad Victoriam! Lost visual. Contact lost. Target's gone dark. Something's out there. What was that? I swore I heard something. Target located! Intruder alert! Over here! Over here! Found you! Cease fire. Threat neutralized. Target down. Going weapons cold. Area secure. Take them down! Fire at will! Ad Victoriam! Engaging hostiles! Shoot to kill! No mercy! Going weapons hot! Standing down. False alarm. Area seems clear. Target reacquired! Over here! Caught you! This place is massive. I had no idea their facility was so advanced. Look at this place. I never suspected that the Institute was completely self-sufficient. Looks like that's it for the moment. But be ready for anything. We'll hold this position while you make your way to the terminal. Well done breaching those security doors, Paladin. Remain vigilant. I suspect the Institute has analyzed our tactics and is readying a counterattack. Ready your weapon. This is where the Institute is likely to make their last stand. Look at their weapons technology. I almost regret having to destroy this place. Rest easy, Paladin. We can handle anything they throw at us. The reactor should be near. It's imperative that we secure this area. Keep sharp. It shouldn't be much further. Be on guard. There may be synths hidden in this area. This section appears to be mostly abandoned. Plant that charge immediately, Paladin. We'll provide covering fire while you plant the charge, Paladin. While you're waiting, the synths are reinforcing their positions. Hurry, Paladin. We need to reach the reactor before the synths realize what we're doing. The reactor shouldn't be far from here. Hold fast. We must reach the reactor. Proctor Ingram better be right about that terminal, or the mission could be in jeopardy. Proceed with caution. The director's quarters may be heavily guarded. We have to get to that terminal, Paladin. Watch for synth patrols. Keep pressing forward. We have them on the run. Watch for teleport ambushes. Finish familiarizing yourself with the Pridwin's personnel. Then meet me on the flight deck. Mass fusion holds the key to victory, Paladin. Don't disappoint us. You must bring back the beryllium agitator at all costs. As soon as you bring back the beryllium agitator, the attack on the Institute can begin. What are you doing here, Knight? Paladin Dance is waiting for you at Fort Strong. You're not getting another assignment until Fort Strong has been secured, because you never expected this information to see the light of day. Now tell me the truth, before I have you thrown over the side of the Pridwin. How dare you speak to me in that tone of voice? I'm growing tired of your lies. Tell me everything you know before it's too late. Don't insult my intelligence. You fought side by side with Dance. I find it impossible to believe you're ignorant of his identity. I suspect you're saying exactly what I want to hear, Knight. Do you wish to try again? No, it did not. However, even if that were true, Dance still represents a clear and present danger to us all. Your sincerity in this matter has been rather surprising. Apparently, I've misjudged you. Dr. Lee is a valuable asset. If any harm comes to her, I'm holding you personally responsible. Refrain from opening fire inside the Institute. It could jeopardize our entire mission. That you could travel with that thing makes me seriously question your judgment, soldier. That you would associate with such a monstrosity. I'm disappointed, brother. What are you doing here? Get down to the field and get Prime started. Please continue assisting Proctor Ingram in any way that you can. Liberty Prime is the linchpin of our operation. Make certain you follow Ingram's orders to the letter. I'm eagerly awaiting Liberty Prime's completion, Knight. Return to your duties. You've done well, Paladin. Report to Captain Kells for your debriefing. For the good of the Commonwealth, the railroad must be destroyed. Remember, Paladin, no one in the railroad's headquarters is to be spared. This is strictly an assault mission, Paladin. No prisoners. Bring that Institute holotape to Proctor Ingram immediately, Knight. That you would associate with such a monstrosity. I'm disappointed, sister. Disgusting machine. Let this serve as an example to the Institute. Welcome back, Knight. I'm pleased to see that the incident at Listening Post Bravo hasn't shaken your spirit. We're poised on the brink of war with the Institute. And I can't afford to have anyone on my staff distracted by their personal feelings. I'm through debating, Knight. Stand aside! Keep those synths away from Prime, soldier! Throw everything you have at them. Prime's mission must succeed. This is it, soldier. Give it everything you've got. Good work, Paladin. Now, head inside and let's finish this. This is our final push, Paladin. Are you ready? Everything we've worked for has led to this moment. Now, on to victory. Now that you've familiarized yourself with the Pridwin's crew, are you ready for your next assignment, sister? I'd use the supply I gave you sparingly. These devices are far more complex than a standard smoke grenade. Should you need more, you should acquire them from Proctor Teagan. I'm afraid I can't spare a fully armed gunship for this task. A standard transport will have to suffice. Of course, nothing's stopping you from using the door gun while in flight. Signal grenades can call a vertibird to your location when you need aerial transport. Once you're aboard, use the map on your Pip-Boy to interface with the pilot's navigation system, so he'll be able to take you wherever you need. Simply throw one to the ground, and the vertibird will hone in on the unique electromagnetic smoke it emits. I expect that you will. Signal grenades are usually reserved for our paladins. In your case, you should be grateful that I'm making an exception. In order to bring the Institute to its knees, we need to use every weapon at our disposal. I try to supply my soldiers with the best. That's why I'm giving you these. In order to bring the Institute to its knees, we need to use every weapon at our disposal. That's why I provided you with the signal grenades. I believe Proctor Ingram is waiting for you, Knight. You should proceed to the signal interceptor immediately. Well done, Knight. Had I been in command, I wouldn't have allowed it to happen. She was a valuable asset. Eager to get inside, huh? Good. Your confidence is an inspiration to us all. Once you're inside the Institute, we want you to track down Dr. Lee's whereabouts. If you find out that she's still alive, make contact with her and convince her to return to the Brotherhood of Steel. There's a special project we're working on, and it needs her attention. Your mission is simple. About 10 years ago, the Brotherhood began recruiting civilian scientists from the capital wasteland to assist with various projects. During this process, we were able to obtain the services of Dr. Madison Lee, a noted mind in the field of nuclear engineering. That being said, this is the first time we've attempted to directly adapt Institute technology. When we throw that switch, We don't know exactly what's gonna happen. God willing, you'll end up inside the Institute, and the mission can continue. Very good. Very good. Absolutely not. We have big plans for Dr. Lee, including the resurrection of one of her greatest creations. The last thing we'd want to do is kill the Golden Goose. Although she was working with the Brotherhood of Steel, she never formally joined as a scribe. After the capital wasteland was secured, she objected to the Brotherhood's continued military presence there. I think she assumed we would just walk away from it all. She was wrong. I'm glad you asked. Proctor Ingram's managed to keep a 40,000-ton airship aloft for the past 5 years. I'd say that earns her the benefit of the doubt. I'm disappointed. I expected more from them. This is the Institute? Being at war leaves little room for compassion. Securing useful resources during wartime is critical. Come back here, Knight. You aren't going near that teleporter until you've heard me out. She was part of a civilian project in the capital wasteland that the Brotherhood appropriated. It wasn't difficult to convince her to stay. Now, I want you to listen very carefully. Once you've entered the Institute, we expect to lose contact, so it's imperative you remember everything I'm about to tell you. After some time, she developed differences with the Brotherhood and exiled herself to the Commonwealth. We're fairly certain that her intent was to make contact with the Institute. That said, Dr. Lee's contributions to our cause were instrumental in maintaining order in the capital wasteland. We don't have time for this, Knight. Say something. Yes, it was. Securing useful resources during wartime is critical. Am I boring you, Initiate? Am I boring you, Knight? Am I boring you, Paladin? Well, out with it already. I don't have time for this, soldier. I don't have time for interruptions. Or more incompetence. Which means I've decided to take you at your word. However, that doesn't absolve you of your duty. Something wrong, Knight. Knight, come back here. I haven't even given you the full details of your assignment. Touching. Either you execute Dance, or I will, Knight. The choice is yours. I'm disappointed in you, Knight. Stand aside. You're a stubborn man. You value this machine's life that much. The fact that Dance's true nature was hidden from you isn't your fault. Given the circumstances, I'd be willing to overlook this lapse in judgment. Now make your decision, or I will. Unbelievable. You'd be willing to sacrifice your career for the sake of a machine? Finally. You've come to your senses. You may proceed, Knight. I don't intend to debate this any longer. My orders stand. I realize this is difficult for you. So I'm willing to forgive your previous insubordination. Now either you execute Dance, or I will. Of course not, Knight. Very well. I'm listening. That time has already passed. Make your choice. To the victor go the spoils. Being a part of the Brotherhood, you should learn to appreciate that sentiment. Let your devotion to our cause be an inspiration to us all. I'll deal with you in a moment. Dance, as far as I'm concerned, you're dead. You were pursued and slain by this Brotherhood Knight, and your remains were incinerated. From this day forward, you are forbidden to set foot on the Pridwin, or speak to anyone from the Brotherhood of Steel. Should you choose to ignore me, know you'll be fired upon immediately. Do we understand each other? I'm a man of my word, Knight. If he remains invisible to the Brotherhood of Steel, he has nothing to fear. Of course, Dance's execution creates a missing link in our chain of command. That traitor held quite an important position with us. I'm certain that you'll make a fine replacement. His quarters and all his possessions are now yours, including his personal suit of power armor. Congratulations, Paladin. Why has this thing not been destroyed? Knight! Speak, Knight. This needs to be resolved. Now. I don't appreciate being ignored, Knight. Had I even a single doubt in my mind, I wouldn't have awarded you the promotion. Good. The only reason you're still alive is because of her. Get it done, Knight. Stop stalling, Knight. You have a job to do, Knight. While the finishing touches are being put onto Liberty Prime, Captain Kells has identified a potential threat to our operations. Report to him immediately for your next assignment. Ad Victoriam, Paladin. In any event, we still have the Institute to contend with, and a lot of work to do before we can begin our final assault. I'm returning to the Pridwin, Knight. Take some time. Say your goodbyes. And then I expect to see you there. We still have the Institute to deal with. You've earned it by your own actions. Perhaps there's hope for you yet. Don't mistake my mercy for acceptance. Your meager attempts at gaining my sympathy are becoming tiresome. I'm certain you can find it in Proctor Ingram's section of the ship. Wear it with pride. This conversation will be the last time we speak about Dance. As far as the Brotherhood of Steel is concerned, he's dead. Do you understand? Before we continue, I want to make one thing clear. Agreed. This machine isn't worth sacrificing the goodwill you've earned with the Brotherhood. He's your enemy. Then consider this a lesson to reflect upon as your service to the Brotherhood continues. You're a stubborn woman. Dance was merely following the rules set up in its programming, to mimic a Brotherhood soldier. A real soldier's bravery comes from within, from his heart and his soul. Just be aware that a Brotherhood paladin is expected to be a symbol of integrity to our brothers and sisters. I trust you won't disappoint them, or disappoint me. I see you've made your decision, Knight. How very disappointing. You've done the right thing, Knight. The only reason you're still alive is because of him, which is the only reason I'm willing to overlook your lapse in judgment. We leave it here as a warning to the Institute, that nothing, not even their finest technology, can cloud our vigilance. Don't apologize for your misgivings. Learn from them and grow. That's the mark of a true soldier. We leave it here as a warning to the Institute, that nothing, not even their finest technology, can eclipse our vigilance. We leave it here as a warning to the Institute, that nothing, not even their finest technology, can cloud our vigilance. I'm disappointed you weren't able to carry out Dance's execution on your own, Knight. Though the Institute has been destroyed, there are numerous synth units that are still roaming the Commonwealth. Even with their command structure destroyed, they present a significant threat and should be eliminated on sight. Did you have any other questions? Very well. Then I suggest you return to your duties. I need you to set an example for the troops. Collect technology, exterminate abominations of nature, and bring a message of stability to the people of the Commonwealth. Our ideals are what define us, Sentinel. If we can hold on to that, then we will always be victorious. Was there anything else you need to ask? Yes, Sentinel? What is it, Sentinel? You needed to ask me something, Sentinel? Speak to the crew. I'm certain that they have plenty of missions available, if you're willing to pick up the assignments. Was there anything else? You're doing a remarkable job, Paladin Dance. Keep up the good work. Thanks to the success of your reconnaissance efforts, it's time to advance our operations to the next phase. I want you to report to Proctor Ingram at the airport. She has a special project that requires your immediate attention. Once again, Knight, you don't fail to impress. Dismissed. Now, on to other matters. Now, I believe you still possess an important piece of data that Proctor Ingram is eagerly awaiting. I want you to bring it to her immediately. Once again, Knight, you don't fail to impress. Dismissed. As soon as Dr. Lee arrives, we'll interrogate her aboard the Pridwin. She's been under the Institute's influence for the last decade, and we can't afford to take any chances. I'll show you what happens to traitors! I'm quite disappointed you chose to build the signal interceptor without the Brotherhood, Knight. However, you've secured passage to and from their facility, which was one of our primary goals. So, I'm willing to overlook your lapse in judgment, since you've unexpectedly accelerated our plans. I now have 2 missions for you to complete. First and foremost, I want you to bring that holotape to Proctor Ingram right away. There could be data vital to the success of our mission on that tape, so we can't afford to take any chances. The second part of your mission requires a bit of background to explain. Just keep your mind on the mission, and don't let anything they say sway you from your duty. Good luck, Knight. Our latest intelligence tells us you've infiltrated the Institute and liberated a valuable holotape from their facility. The Institute and everyone responsible for the creation of the synths must be eliminated. At all costs. I am. But I need you to view this from my perspective. An intriguing proposal that I'll have to seriously consider. However, before I allow any of my soldiers to breach the Institute, careful preparations need to be made. In the meantime, I need you to follow my orders and remain patient. An intriguing proposal that I'll have to seriously consider. However, before I allow any of my soldiers to breach the Institute, careful preparations need to be made. In the meantime, I need you to follow my orders and remain patient. I'm not willing to risk the lives of my soldiers based solely on a set of crudely drawn plans. Give us time to validate the information you've discovered. Then when the time is right, I promise you, I'll do everything in my power to construct that device. You're dismissed, Knight. An intriguing proposal that I'll have to seriously consider. However, before I allow any of my soldiers to breach the Institute, careful preparations need to be made. In the meantime, I need you to follow my orders and remain patient. I know you're disappointed, but I need you to view this from my perspective. I meant every word that I just said, but I need you to view this from my perspective. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I need you to view this from my perspective. Now that we've been cleansed of our filth, there's work to be done. This is it. The detonator is primed and ready. I think it's time to leave this place to its fate. It's time, Paladin. The Institute and their synth abominations must be eradicated. Press that button, and you not only defeat our enemy, you restore order and decency to the Commonwealth. Let's get this done. Proctor Ingram has assured me that we'll be outside the blast radius, but this is neither the time nor the place to discuss it. Return to the Pridwin, and we'll decide what needs to be done. Quickly, plant the charge so we can be rid of this place once and for all. You've done an exemplary job here, Paladin. Without your unwavering loyalty to our cause, this victory would never have been possible. We're running short on time, Paladin. Excellent. You'll be remembered for this moment, Paladin. I've never been more certain about anything in my life. The Institute menace has to be eliminated. The only logical explanation is that they've gone underground. That's where we need your help. We're here because of a unique energy reading recorded by Paladin Dance's recon team. According to our scribes, the reading indicated a level of technology that only the Institute could achieve. Our records indicate that the Institute was born from the remnants of a pre-war educational facility, the Commonwealth Institute of Technology. The ruins of the facility are at the center of the city, but we've already searched them thoroughly. The location appears to have been abandoned long ago, so it appears that the trail ends there. Anything else, Knight? I've had our scribes meticulously searching the Commonwealth, but they've come up empty-handed. To accomplish this goal, we need to locate the Institute's headquarters. It could be the sewers, the transit tunnels, or maybe an old vault. We just don't have enough information right now. Our scribes are confident that the energy readings are from Institute technology, due to the unusually high frequency. But the source is unknown. We're still detecting them on occasion, but by the time we send a team to investigate, they disappear. Just watch your step. I wouldn't be surprised if the energy reading were caused by some type of Institute weapon. Is there anything else? The level of technology that the Institute possesses is far beyond our own, so we're not certain. However, that would explain why the readings are so random and short-lived. I'll have our scribes focus on improving our scanning techniques to learn more. Anything else you wanted to ask, Knight? The Institute has managed to keep itself hidden for a number of years, but it's only a matter of time before we find them. Very well then. Dismissed. I'd pursue your lead regarding Dr. Amari. I'm not certain if she's a crackpot, or if she can genuinely assist your search, but our sources say she has some interesting technology at her disposal. Anything else, Knight? Your meeting with Dr. Amari seemed fairly telling. If the Institute has the capability to teleport its synths, then we're in for quite a fight. There must be a way to tap into the teleport signal, and your mysterious lead in the glowing sea could provide us with the answer. If you need any assistance mitigating the radiation in that godforsaken location, speak to Proctor Tegan. I'm certain he'd be willing to help. I've had our scribes meticulously searching the Commonwealth, but they've come up empty-handed. To accomplish this goal, we need to locate the Institute's headquarters. Questions, Knight? By now, I'm sure you've deduced that our arrival in the Commonwealth wasn't coincidental. The moment this information came to light, our mission became clear. The Institute, and everyone responsible for the creation of the synths, must be eliminated at all costs. I want you to get out there and become our eyes and ears on the ground. You seem to have a vested interest in locating the Institute before we met, so I'm confident you'll travel in the right circles. If you discover a way in, I need you to report it to me immediately. Any questions, Knight? The moment this information came to light, our mission became clear. The Institute, and everyone responsible for the creation of the synths, must be eliminated at all costs. We're here because of a unique energy reading recorded by Paladin Dance's recon team. According to our scribes, the reading indicated a level of technology that only the Institute could achieve. The only logical explanation is that they've gone underground. That's where we need your help. If you have any questions about your orders, now's the time to ask. Remember, you're our eyes and ears on the ground now. Don't overlook anything. Leave no stone unturned, Knight. The Institute must be located if our mission is to succeed. Whatever you recovered from the courser at Green Tech, you should bring it to someone who knows how to manipulate Institute technology. Perhaps it will allow you to unlock the mystery of their knack for teleportation. This information could be the final piece of the puzzle. The moment you learn anything concrete, you're to report it to me immediately. Is there anything else, Knight? Apparently I've misjudged you. Apparently I've misjudged you. Your outburst leads me to believe I've misjudged you. Am I boring you, Sentinel? It's with great pleasure and the utmost respect that you are hereby granted the title of Sentinel. This is the highest honor a Brotherhood soldier can achieve, but we both felt strongly that it was well-deserved. Whether you were seeking vengeance or serving the Brotherhood, the end result is the same. As you've no doubt heard before, words aren't necessary. Your actions will speak volumes. Where are you going? I'm not finished yet. This victory was but the beginning. We still have a long road ahead if we're to ensure the safety of the Commonwealth and her people. In light of your service, Captain Kells and I both feel you deserve unique recognition for your contributions, both past and future. Indeed. I'll be certain to watch my back. Ad Victoriam, Sentinel. We still have a long road ahead if we're to ensure the safety of the Commonwealth and her people. On the contrary, this victory was but the beginning. Captain Kells, you truly have become one of us, brother. You truly have become one of us, sister. The honor is ours. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, sister. So, Sentinel, for the first time since we've met, I have no orders for you. From this moment forward, you will decide which missions you undertake and how you will guide us. Captain Kells and the personnel at the Cambridge Police Station still possess numerous operations for you to undertake. Where you go from here is up to you. I'm pleased that you're anxious to continue your service for the Brotherhood. It's time we close this chapter on the Commonwealth and begin one anew. The Institute has been wiped clean from the face of our world. Paladin, I'm pleased you've returned. Captain Kells and I wanted to speak with you. It means we still have a long road ahead if we're to ensure the safety of the Commonwealth and her people. Your reward rests in the hearts and the minds of the people you've saved. In our division? Yes. There hasn't been a Sentinel serving under me for many years now. It's a position that commands a great deal of honor and respect, so I do not award it lightly. Now this is what I had feared. Good work, Paladin. Our work here is done. Proctor Ingram, it's time to teleport us out. No controls, no supervision. Technology run amok. We've been monitoring communications and picked up an encrypted signal being broadcast from the Institute. We haven't fully decoded it yet, but the message is clear. Dr. Lee's been slain, and the Institute is holding you accountable. I demand to know why you've killed her. Apologies are meaningless. Brotherhood soldiers take responsibility for their actions and move on. I expect no less out of you. Now, I believe you still possess an important piece of data that Proctor Ingram is eagerly awaiting. I want you to bring it to her immediately. And Knight, don't disappoint me again. Dismissed. Whether it was accidental or not, you've still failed the assignment. We pick up the pieces, and we move on, soldier. Fortunately, this incident doesn't change our current strategy. We have a contingency plan that's already being put into effect that should ensure completion of our special project. Dr. Lee may have been misguided, but she was never a traitor. Perhaps you should begin acting like a soldier and take responsibility for your actions. That wasn't your decision to make. Your instructions were clear. You were to infiltrate the Institute, find Dr. Lee, and convince her to return to the Brotherhood. Instead, you've decided to become her executioner. I'm extremely disappointed in you, Knight. Do you? Well, if nothing else, you have the courage to stand your ground. That doesn't absolve you from your mistake. But let's just say you've earned back some of my respect. Thanks to the success of your reconnaissance efforts, it's time to advance our operations to the next phase. I want you to report to Proctor Ingram at the airport. She has a special project that requires your immediate attention. And Knight, don't disappoint me again. Dismissed. Now, on to other matters. I received word that Dr. Lee's died by your hands. I demand to know what went wrong. I'm pleased that you've decided to bring these plans to the Brotherhood. Well done, Knight. All I can suggest is that you keep your eyes and ears open, Knight. We have every available scribe working on a way into the Institute. It's only a matter of time before a method presents itself. Brothers and sisters, the road behind has been long and fraught with difficulty. Each and every one of you has surpassed my expectations by rapidly facilitating our arrival in the Commonwealth. You have accomplished this amazing feat without a hint of purpose or direction. And most impressively, without question. I'm certain that you will. Paladin Dance's reports were quite clear regarding your feelings toward the Brotherhood, and he concludes that you'd be an asset to us. I am not prepared to allow the Institute to continue this line of experimentation. Therefore, the Institute and their synths are considered enemies of the Brotherhood of Steel, and should be dealt with swiftly and mercilessly. The Brotherhood is here to prevent a war by starting one of our own. The difference is, our war won't reduce civilization to ashes. Seeing as he's one of my most respected field officers, you couldn't get a better recommendation. Therefore, from this moment forward, I'm granting you the rank of Knight. And, befitting your title, we're granting you a suit of power armor to protect you on the field of battle. Wear it with pride. Welcome aboard the Pridwin, soldier. Make us proud. In any event, once you're finished becoming familiar with the Pridwin and my staff, report to the flight deck for your new orders. The Institute scientists have created a weapon that transcends the destructive nature of the atom bomb. They call their creation the Synth, a robotic abomination of technology that is free-thinking and masquerades as a human being. This notion that a machine could be granted free will is not only offensive, but horribly dangerous. And like the atom, if it isn't harnessed properly, it has the potential of rendering us extinct as a species. The Brotherhood maintains a strict hierarchy organized by rank. Paladin is several ranks above Knight, and it took Dance many years to achieve that goal. With your continued loyalty to the Brotherhood, I'm certain you can attain the same. And from what I've read in Paladin Dance's reports, you've already begun that journey. I want you to start taking responsibility for this planet, to start making a difference. I can understand your indecisiveness. Turning your weapons on the very same people that you're trying to save can be a bitter pill to swallow. Ad Victorium! Take some time to familiarize yourself with the ship. Then meet me on the flight deck for your mission. I care about them, you know. The people of the Commonwealth. I'm glad you feel that way, because it only gets more difficult from here. I'm glad you feel that way, because our mission here has only just begun. An even greater task lies ahead. Now, I'm sure you're aware that Fort Strong was simply the first step towards the liberation of the Commonwealth. The mission is proceeding as planned, Paladin. Well done. Our next target is the reactor. If anything tries to slow us down, I'm ordering you to destroy it. Man or machine. Time to go, Paladin. You heard Ingram. Find that terminal. Once we reach our target, you'll need this. It's a fusion pulse charge. Attach it to the reactor, and it can be detonated remotely from a safe distance. It will be more than enough to annihilate the Institute in its entirety. I don't appreciate being ignored. You're wasting my time. Is there somewhere else you'd rather be right now? I believe we were speaking. You're being rude, Knight. You're being rude, Paladin. You're being rude, Sentinel. Leave me at once. I expect total victory, not more excuses. Not at all. In fact, it's clear from Paladin Dance's report that you understand our core values. He feels you've become quite an asset to us. Leaving them to their own devices is what reduced this metropolis to ruins in the first place. I'm a bit surprised that you don't realize that by now. Now that the ship is in position, it is time to reveal our purpose and our mission. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have to get used to it. Yet despite that, Paladin Dance still feels you'd be an asset to the Brotherhood. Exactly. I just hope we're here in time. I refuse to allow the mistakes of the past to be repeated. Super mutants are no better than synths. They're a reminder of man's folly when it comes to harnessing technology. Whether it's using biochemistry to manipulate genes, or trying to create life from a bunch of circuits. It's the wrong path for science. As members of the Brotherhood, it's our sworn duty to exterminate these abominations in every form. So, can I count on you to get the job done? Good. That's Fort Strong. And it's infested with super mutants. Having those aberrations of nature close enough to smell is making me sick to my stomach. To make matters worse, they're sitting on top of a massive stockpile of Fat Man shells we could use in our campaign. I want you to head over there, wipe out everything that moves, and secure that stockpile. Understood? Now, we have a vertibird on standby, fully armed and ready to depart. Use it to carry our message to Fort Strong, and wipe those dirty mutants from the face of the earth. Dismissed. Something amiss, Initiate? I know this is overwhelming for you, but I'd appreciate your attention. Let's get this done, Paladin. Proceed, Knight. What are you waiting for, Knight? They are experimenting with dangerous technologies that could prove to be the world's undoing for the second time in recent history. Judging from the state of the world, it wouldn't be a stretch to say we're living in that era again. Remain patient, Knight. We're pouring every resource we have into the signal interceptor. The signal interceptor is coming along quite well. You and Proctor Ingram appear to be making quite a team. If you need assistance building the signal interceptor, there's no one better than Proctor Ingram. She'll help you get the job done. I applaud your enthusiasm, Knight. Eager to take the fight to the Institute? Good. Save that for later. Those abominations are playing nursemaid to a huge nuclear arsenal. If we leave Fort Strong unchecked, we have a potential security threat on our hands. The kind of assignment where all of the training you've done finally begins to pay off. The Fat Man launcher is an essential part of the Brotherhood arsenal. It's a miniature nuclear payload in a man-portable format. A squad of troops armed with one of these is virtually unstoppable. If you ever have the pleasure of firing one of them, allow me to give you a word of advice. Don't fire one of them in close quarters, or there won't be enough of you to bury in a shoebox. That enough to go on? Get on that gunship, soldier. I want Fort Strong cleared and that stockpile secured. Now that you've familiarized yourself with the Pridwin's crew, are you ready for your next assignment, brother? Take a look over there. Let's get right to it then. Shall we? Well, do what you have to do. And get back here on the double. The Brotherhood cannot allow those abominations to have a nuclear arsenal at their fingertips. Look, I realize you're eager to take the fight to the Institute, but it'll have to wait. Paladin Dance is supervising the transfer of the Fat Man warheads to the Pridwin. They'll provide quite an edge to our arsenal. I've also ordered a detachment to occupy the location and use it as a staging area to protect the eastern side of the airport. All in all, you handed us quite a valuable location. Outstanding work at Fort Strong, soldier. We shouldn't risk using the elevator. If it even works, it'd be a death trap. We should find some other way in. Get to the director's quarters. We'll cover you. In and out, Paladin. We make this fast and precise. Proctor Ingram, do you copy? Our mission is complete. I need you to transport us out of here immediately. Ingram, you're to remain here and teleport us out when the job is done. Get that thing working. Very well. I'm listening. I'm afraid that time is past, Knight. Either you execute Dance, or I will. I'm growing tired of your insubordination. Either you execute Dance, or I will. Coward. Stand aside. Not to worry, Knight. You'll be dealing with them sooner than you think. Beneath the Commonwealth, there is a cancer, known as the Institute. A malignant growth that needs to be cut before it infects the surface.